Hey everyone, Kendrick here on Twitch, and today I'm going to be playing a new game called One Last Game, and it is recommended by Serena and Fanny from MBBS3, and this is part of their project on teaching preclinical students how to learn about empathy and to develop the skills necessary as a future clinician. So this is an online free game that I can access by a web browser, and let's look at the rules of the game. So it says, please play with the sound on, and play one last game of checkers in dreadful circumstances beyond your control. Neither of you remember the rules that well, but it doesn't matter. A short 3-minute narrative experience. Click a piece when it's your turn, and then click the destination. Okay, so what we're going to do is just try to play a game. I think the circumstances will be quite dire, and we'll try to play regardless of the situation. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm playing checkers with an old man in a dilapidated house. Okay, I click. Ooh. Okay, so oh, wow, the sound effects. The sound effects are really loud. So, okay, so I'm in a war zone right now. Ooh. Wow. That's really loud. So the sound effect is making my hands really clammy. Oh, okay, so it seems like I was injured. I continue to play. So I seem to still be winning. Oof. So yeah, every explosion really hurts in the ears. Someone's at the door. Do I open it? Oh. Okay, so that's the end of the game. So I think the idea was, it was in a war zone. You're playing chess, almost like your last game, your last act. And no matter what you do, somebody is going to burst in and probably end your life. So I think throughout the game, it gives you this really good sense of impending doom, as if there are some things out of your control and you have to just try to focus. And I found that it was very difficult for me to focus on the game. I started to feel quite dissociated, and I started to not really know what I was doing, and I was just focused on that impending doom, and felt this very strong flight or fight reaction. I think that reminds me a lot of about certain surgeries. Sometimes things don't go well, and it can start to spiral. And although at that point in time, all you can do is really focus on what you can manage, it's not easy because all you can focus on is that impending doom. What is going to happen? Are you going to blind the patient? How is the patient going to react to you? Are you going to be sued? Is this the end of your career? And you're thinking all of this while you have to be performing at your best. And it can be very difficult. And yeah, I think the feeling that I got, it reminds me a lot of the feelings that I got from some of the surgeries that didn't go well for me. And yeah, I can feel my palpitations, a lot of the clammy hands, the inability to think straight. I think, yeah, I can really resonate with that. In situations like this, I think you have to stay calm. You have to identify what are things that can be controlled. Would you, just by doing things, just for the sake of it, make it worse? Or do you close it up, look for help, look for a helping hand, and proceed from there? I think another thing that it reminds me of is sometimes when you're talking to patients, you can be telling them a diagnosis that can be very severe, very shocking to them. But at the same time, you're telling them what are the options, what they need to do, and whether or not they'll proceed. And sometimes it's not enough time. So at the point, they're still processing the impact of it, of the diagnosis, the impact of the disability on their life, on their family, what it might mean for them financially. But at the same time, you're making them to push them to have a decision as soon as possible. And that can be very tough for the patient. So what I've learned over time as a clinician is that sometimes patients can't make the decision at that point. They might want to consult their family, their friends, think about it for a bit, calm down, and maybe ask more questions before making the decision. So sometimes if we're in the outpatient clinic, I might invite the patient to come back in a few days or even a week's time if it's not that urgent. Let them reflect. And usually they come back and have more questions. They might not be able to make the decision the next time either, but I think that's much better than really forcing them through and getting them to, collaborate or choose your decision. While it might be correct, a lot of these patients might not have the mental strength or the readiness to accept that decision at that point, and it can be quite troubling for them. And sometimes by pushing them over the edge, you might break the trust that the patient has in you. So yeah, I think that's my second thought, is that sometimes when patients are under stress, really give them the time, the space to think about their decisions as well. So yeah, I think overall this was a very interesting experience. Thank you, Serena and Fanny, for letting me play through this, and I hope all of you will try it as well. So see you on the platform.